Any questions from the floor? Yes.
What areas of the economy do you think should be cut if not education?
I think everywhere else except health and social services. There will inevitably be some very heavy cuts in transport, infrastructure, generally, in defence there will be reductions except for mainline armed forces. I think there will be horrendous cuts in the cultural side of our activities in this country. I think we'll see all of that suffer pretty badly. But I think with the two exceptions that I've raised, I can't see anything but it hitting those services, which would be a shame because, once again, it's the cocktail that we call a community that will be affected. If we don't have better infrastructure, better roads, better arts and things generally that we accept as part and parcel of our lives, the community is diminished by it. So we'll all suffer for it. But if you have to make difficult choices, there where the choices will be made. And local government will suffer pretty badly. I'm sure no government, whoever's elected after May, is going to be over generous to local government. I think a lot of the money that's sourced through agencies of various forms will be dramatically cut back, whether it's the development agencies, whether it's funding even to places into the devolution states in Scotland and Wales. I think they will see a reduction in the money that comes from the centre, which is going to impair their ability to do a lot of things. But that's the inevitability of the mess we're in.
Philip Drummond, where will the Conservatives plan to make cuts?
Well, we've already ring-fenced the NHS and international development because we think we have a moral right to help people in poorer countries. So those two are ring-fenced already. So there will be cuts in other places. One of the areas that under the Labour government has been a huge increase in bureaucracy and quangos and public servants. So we're going to be looking at them first to see where we can do it by natural wastage rather than just cutting jobs straight away. That's one of the main areas. There will be cuts, although I hope not in defence because our army is well stretched at the moment, so we'll have to make sure that they get proper funding. The other areas, but I mean, it's just going to be incredibly difficult. I think every single part of the government department is going to be cut in some sort of way, apart from the NHS and international aid. It's such a depressing situation when you're hoping to be the next government, and you've got all these new ideas, and you spent the last 13 years revamping the party and revamping our policies to end up for the first 5 years, 10 years probably, just trying to cut the deficit which has been built up under the Labour government. It's incredibly frustrating when you've got all these ideas. But yeah, as Mike says, I think every area is going to be cut in some shape or form.
John Ferret, is it a defence for David Lammy to claim that the cuts can be justified through record government investment in higher education, around 25% more so than when Blair was elected in '97?
Contrary to what Mike may think, I think yes, that can be some justification. We can't ignore where the economy is at the moment, and we could look at how it got to that particular point. Clearly there's a global downturn, something that all developed countries are facing, and decisions have to be made. It's how you make those decisions where you decide to implement those cuts. Cliff has talked about defence. Defence cuts will clearly decimate this area of the country. George Osborne has talked about cutting the aircraft carrier programme, which will lose in the region of 10,000 to 15,000 jobs in Portsmouth. So you have to look at how those cuts are going to impact on people and communities. And I think David Lammy also made the point that clearly the cuts to higher education were part of that £5 billion efficiency savings that the government will looking to make right across Whitehall. But what the government have said is they're going to maintain spending, certainly for this year. The Tories have said should they get elected, they will be looking to start reducing the deficit straight away. So there's a marked difference there between approaches, between cutting the deficit over a period of time and sustaining the recovery, or going for a dramatic and savage cutting agenda, which might well appeal to the Thatcherites within the Conservative Party, but it's going to decimate communities, Mike calls, in the same way it decimated communities across the country in the 1980s.